There have been reports of Child Protective Services being called in again, which many believe could be the final straw in an already concerning situation. For months, there have been rumors on social media about Chrisean Rock's ability to raise her child, but the problems have now gotten serious enough to warrant official reporting. Chrisean Rock's drama has taken yet another dangerous turn, and it might be hard to ignore this time. CPS has now opened a formal investigation into her parenting after receiving multiple reports in the last 3 days alone, according to people familiar with the case. The world has watched her fall apart in real time, with everything from turbulent Instagram accounts and backstage altercations to the heartbreaking footage of baby Junior sobbing in noisy, unsteady settings seemingly playing out in slow motion. Some have described the current live feed as being marked by unpredictable intensity and frightening scenes that sparked the alarm. Some blame Blueface's circle, claiming they are preparing a custody battle to take full custody of the child. Whatever the cause, one thing is very clear: public opinion is shifting. The internet isn't that divided. A loyal fan base continues to support Chrisean, saying that she is doing her best despite extreme pressure. The infant should be given stability instead of a front-row seat to dysfunction, according to a larger group of critics. At the height of the debate, a former Chrisean acquaintance came forward with alleged evidence that could make all the difference. Private messages and displayed receipts all hinted at a deeper, more sinister pattern going on behind the scenes. And if the accusations turn out to be accurate, this disclosure could seriously harm Chrisean's reputation, and her chances of the battle for a child's safety, both legally and emotionally, is slowly taking shape from what began as a clumsy celebrity dispute. As the pieces come together, social media is booming and headlines are appearing. The issue is no longer about scandal or celebrity. Rather, it's about what to do if a newborn gets stuck in the middle of a storm. This goes beyond another social media controversy. Chrisean was just a determined Baltimore girl before the internet turned her life into a public spectacle. Before CPS started to knock, and before the headlines and viral videos, and at the center of it all is a baby, a mother, battling both public and personal pressure, and a storm that has only gotten worse since the cameras first started filming. This media controversy is a depressing point in Chrisean Rock's ongoing story, and it may also be the most tragic episode to date. Her environment had made her tough, and she had a fierce energy. She had grown up in a society where achieving your goals was often your only chance to survive, and her determination to succeed was unabated by poverty or suffering. Her determination brought her into the crazy world of reality TV, but she had no idea how far she would fall when she met Blue. Her debut on Blue Girls Club, the uncensored and often exploitative Zeus Network series, was a perverse turning point in her story. As she fought with her roommates, sobbed on cue, and declared her unwavering love in between sobs, cameras rolled. What began as an opportunity to gain notoriety quickly became a warning about what happens when suffering is presented as happiness. Chrisean stayed the entire time, and in spite of all the physical violence, emotional distress, and public humiliation, she clung to the belief that what they had was real. She wore her lost tooth as a symbol of loyalty after losing it in a battle. She had his name permanently inked on her face, not once, but multiple times, as if ink might cement her place in Blueface's universe. Fans watched the chaos unfold in a loop, unable to take their eyes off the arrests, yells, and sobbing live feeds. In addition to the chaos that surrounded her, Chrisean's journey is especially tragic because of her strong conviction that all of her suffering meant something, and that the heartache, the humiliation in public, and the storm she was going through would somehow become a historic tale of love and triumph. Her loyalty went beyond Blue Peace. The goal was to demonstrate her indestructibility, even as everyone around the world watched her break in real time. On the other side of her career, she seemed to believe that something beautiful would emerge: a solid relationship, a strong comeback if she only stayed faithful through the worst of it. The reality of fame, especially the kind based on spectacle and dysfunction, is far worse. In some way, the uncertainty was leading her to something greater. She felt that the battle was the story, and that enduring it would ultimately prove her strength, devotion, and perhaps even worth. She was deprived of control by the same media attention that made her famous, replaying, analyzing, and using every mistake as fuel. She begged for love throughout her vulnerable live streaming moments, and clips of people lashing out in rage went viral. but they were shared with disdain or disinterest rather than empathy. She was consumed by the mechanism that turns personal, suffering into amusement rather than being rewarded for her perseverance. Her emotional and mental health also deteriorated as the lines between reality TV and her real life became increasingly blurred. The girl who once radiated pure ambition became a symbol of emotional turmoil, and her once magical abilities started to fade as a result of unhealed wounds and public scrutiny. This highly toxic and volatile relationship with Blueface, however, seemed more like a trap than a love story, but she stayed. But she hoped. Still, she found it hard to make sense of it all. Chrisean is now even more scrutinized as more people question her stability, court documents surface, and Child Protective Services investigate her parenting. The same system that once emphasized her every action for financial gain now condemns her and offers no help, just headlines. One can't help but wonder, did she ever truly have control? It is no longer just about a turbulent romance or viral altercation. It is about what happens when a person's darkest moments are turned into commodities, when no one steps in until it is too late, and when everyone treats your suffering as a performance. Was she aware that she was pursuing attention? Or was she forced into it by a culture that thrives on dysfunction and brokenness, especially from young Black women? Her pregnancy announcement caused a rift on the internet, with some viewing it as her story of redemption and others viewing her incapacity to take care of herself as a warning flag. How would she raise a child? Unfortunately, they had good reason to be concerned. Chrisean's story serves as a warning about the price of celebrity in a world of digital information where nothing is forbidden, especially not human life. Things were shaky when they got there. Blueface chose to post sarcastic content on Twitter instead of actually attending the delivery room, and attempts at co-parenting quickly turned into outright hostility. Chrisean took Junior everywhere, including live streaming, studio sessions, clubs, and interviews, but instead of praising her hustle, people started to express their concerns. In one widely shared video, she was applying makeup while her baby screamed nearby, apparently ignored. In another clip, she accidentally dropped him in the middle of her task. Then, the blunt fans came, claiming to have seen marijuana inches from the stroller on one stream. The response was swift and severe, but Chrisean responded by publicly defending herself. "I'm not perfect, but I am his mother. He's good, he's content," she explained. This isn't shade. After a woman claiming to be her old friend, and stylists sent out voicemails and direct messages that painted a grim picture of a horrific episode in which the kid reportedly ate something he shouldn't have, dirty bottles, and missed visits. The internet was shocked by a pediatric nurse's anonymous Reddit post shortly after, but it didn't. It's a cry for assistance. Fans made snap decisions based on name-calling, and Blueface promptly fueled the fire by showing an enigmatic picture of a CPS card without any context. Bloggers confirmed that multiple reports had been filed and a wellness check was imminent. Zeus producers then disclosed a moment of their emotional breakdown, with Chrisean sobbing while Junior screamed in the background. "Only 48, he's pampered. He'll be okay." The criticism this time wasn't just loud. Everyone agreed. Even her devout fans had to admit that the world was watching while something went horribly wrong. Her eyes were exhausted, and she was obviously overwhelmed. When she went live, in contrast to slurring her words just hours before the CPS visit, a neighbor saw suited authorities enter Chrisean's Los Angeles rental home while she was still getting ready for a zoo shoot. And shortly after, witnesses saw Chrisean broke down in tears and said, "Y'all are doing too much." CPS acted swiftly after Twitter parenting influencers raised the alarm. "Abuse doesn't exist. You guys are strange." CPS, according to leaked insider emails, the agency, which is well known for treating repeated claims seriously, especially when video evidence is involved, was purportedly considering over 16 complaints in a single month. Those same rumors claim that the wellness check resulted in a level 2 care evaluation, which opened the door for ongoing monitoring and required parenting training. A few hours later, Chrisean was allegedly warned behind closed doors by one agent, "If another incident happens, we may have to take it to court." Chrisean's silence and the fact that she didn't post anything about her kid for over 2 days, a significant break from her typical social media presence, fueled rumors. By sharing a disturbing image of his mother, Teresa, holding baby Junior, In a visible manner not at Christian's house, but at his mother's house in the valley, Blueface fanned the flames. Fans speculated that Blueface might have been briefly arrested after seeing the captionless photo, but there was no official confirmation. Her subsequent live broadcast was an angry tirade. She sobbed and said, "They're trying to take my baby like I'm a bad mom. I thought y'all were rooting for me," she said, accusing Blueface of using their son as a prop and claiming that he never even wanted the child. Meanwhile, alleged texts from a group chat between Blueface, his mother Carissa, and his ex-boyfriend Jaden were circulated on gossip pages, with Carissa allegedly sending, "Told y'all this would happen." "That girl isn't a natural mother," Blueface allegedly retorted. "He's okay as long as he's with me." Jaden added a scathing comment. "Imagine being more concerned with your reputation than your child." Celebrities soon voiced their opinions. Chrisean was urged to settle down and concentrate on becoming a mother by Tokyo Toni, who went live. "Being a mom means sacrificing," Summer Walker said in a mysterious post that many interpreted as disparaging. The sudden attention sent the internet into a frenzy. Viewers were still unsure of the seriousness of the situation, but once the comments started rolling in, the momentum was unstoppable. People were criticizing Blueface for allegedly using the drama to influence public opinion and the courts, and others were tagging Chrisean and demanding that she break her silence. Everyone was on edge, wondering if CP would try to get full custody of baby Junior. One thing was certain: the real casualty was the 1-year-old child caught between chaos, cameras, and controversy. As if things couldn't get any messier, an explosive twist came this time, and it wasn't from a blog gossip site or Blueface's infamous social media rants. A leaked medical report. Was Chrisean on the decline or facing a long overdue reckoning? Emerged in fan groups, allegedly from a Los Angeles pediatric clinic. The private document, widely circulated online, claimed that baby Junior had been exposed to secondhand marijuana smoke and showed signs of elevated toxins associated with neglectful conditions. The internet as a whole gasped. Was this report real? Was it leaked by someone close to Chrisean or possibly by Blueface himself? Reposting the alleged certificate with the harsh comment, "Sis, you can't raise a baby in the club," swiftly stoked the fires. Facts. Social media was sparked by just one post. There was outrage. Within hours, the hashtag #SaveGR gained popularity as fans called on Zeus Network to remove Chrisean from the show. The response was quick and fierce. Chrisean went live in response, accusing the documents of being a complete fabrication while crying. She adamantly stated, "I don't even smoke like that around my son. It's a complex setup." Blueface and his bitter baby mamas are the ones responsible for this. However, things took a surprising turn when her older sister, Tessie, joined the live stream. Instead of showing solidarity as the audience expected, Tessie called Chrisean out. "You must stop pretending to be the victim. Other people are always to blame. Sometimes you are the one." Being betrayed felt like a slap. Fans flooded to Twitter incredulously. Breakdown of the family unit. Tessie is exhausted too. On Instagram, one user said, "This isn't hate. This is accountability," and as if the firestorm could grow hotter. An account that was posted anonymously. Voice message that was allegedly recorded by a Zeus team member. "She left the baby on set again. No car seat, no diaper bag. We cannot keep covering for her." The 37-second tape, which showed a man saying, "She left the baby on set again. No car seat, no diaper bag. We cannot keep covering for her." As behind-the-scenes recordings, medical disclosures, and family turmoil increased, the question that was reverberating on all platforms was no longer just about custody. That was wondering if baby Junior's security had been compromised for the sake of fame. Then the internet abruptly went down. There was a strong divide among fans between Chrisean and Team Intervention, and what began as rumors became a full-fledged online conflict. According to one site's passionate support of Black mothers, society is always ready to condemn them when under pressure. They encouraged her to give it her all. What about the accountability of Blueface? Critics of the opposition, however, were not receptive. "This baby doesn't need a live-streamed video or a plot." They retaliated. "He needs a safe, nurturing atmosphere before it's too late." Then Carissa, the Blue mother, jumped in with a Facebook Live that went viral, adding fuel to the fire. She claimed that the legal file folder she was showing belonged to her attorney. Carissa declared that she would submitted an earlier application for emergency guardianship of her grandson. "If y'all want to play with that baby's life, I got time, I got receipts, and I got a lawyer who don't miss," she screamed. But it was the line, "A baby needs a mother, not a marketing strategy," that really brought Jaws to tears. Although some described her as sloppy and excessively interested, even mainstream magazines such as Hollywood Unlocked and Boatsap began to cover the situation as if it were a serious national issue. As soon as possible, even famous people began to comment. Erica Mena offered some sage advice after JT from City Girls tweeted, "I love Christian, but she needs a break. Sometimes the infant has to step back in order to recover." The website that supposedly initiated Christian's ascension, Zeus Network, reportedly began to back off. And Young Miami went cryptic, declaring, "Being outside isn't worth losing your child." Insiders claim that executives made her aware of a behavioral clause in her contract. In other words, any future public appearances involving your child could lead to a temporary suspension from filming. "We love her story, but not at the expense of a child's safety. The brand's reputation is on the line," Blueface said, adding gasoline to the flames. According to a person close to the production, he repeated it. Drama videos and hinted at an impending custody battle, but in order to publicly embarrass Christian into resigning, DMS's claims that he didn't actually want custody were exposed. We are left with this scenario where a mother is in emotional distress, a father is allegedly using the media as a weapon, and a child is stuck in the middle of everything. It started out as a tabloid rumor but has since evolved into a cultural hotspot. Old recordings of Chrissy fighting and crying during live streaming are all over Instagram feeds, with captions that vicious evaluations like, "And Yell said she should be a mom. Others demand action." The baby's first were those. Supporters of her clapped back, "But watch out for my lawyer. Mothers are not always perfect." One commenter wrote, "Half of y'all were raised worse." Viral posts rationalized Chrisean's suffering by attributing it to her past rather than her flaws. There was also division among influencers, by saying, "Support, not shame," Simone urged empathy. But Tokyo Toni struck back. She declines help. She wants to be well known. Later, a TikTok allegedly from a CPS intern went viral, making anonymous claims that a certain celebrity mother's case file was longer than a college textbook. There was a fire in the comment area. That baby needs a group. The custody will be given to Carissa even before Christian blinks. Blue is still being blamed by you all. Hip-hop artist Erica Mena wrote in an enigmatic caption, "Some people have babies to heal. Others have them to hold on to fame." Fans immediately associated the message with Christian, which fueled the #unfit or unfair trend that swiftly took over Twitter. This was the first time that the entertainment industry began to think about love. However, Zeus delivered the final stomach punch. The network's co-founder reportedly unfollowed Christian and covertly removed her highlight reel from the platform's official page. In the court of public opinion, the lawsuit is still pending and is making more noise than before. Fan theories started off like wildfire as the dust settled. There were a lot of reports on social media that Zeus was deserting Christian. Were they trying to rebuild the brand before the problem worsened? Charlemagne Thaw God even voiced his thoughts about the Breakfast Club, stating that Christians ought to sit in a therapist's chair and avoid the spotlight and cameras. Clicks are no longer important. There is a newborn. This is actual life. A paradigm shift occurs when someone is as forthright and truthful as Charlemagne. Response videos were everywhere on YouTube. Every facet of Christian's current difficulty was scrutinized by gossip bloggers, from Storm and Rowe to the amazing Tasha K, who added their own insights to an increasingly complex scenario. One content provider initiated a more in-depth discussion. This is far bigger than Christian. In order to gain views at the expense of mental health, networks intentionally place unstable people in front of millions of people. Everyone is involved. Abruptly, the argument shifted. From a straightforward argument about Christian's appropriateness as a mother, it became a referendum on the reality TV industry as a whole, whether the performers pass mental tests. Should websites like Zeus be held legally accountable for the material they promote? But above all, who is protecting Baby Jr.? That question became the center of the emotional commotion among the trending hashtags, leaked messages, and other content. And heated debates, one truth remained. A baby is being raised under a microscope. He is singled out and made to read headlines before he can speak in a conflict he never asked to be involved in. He didn't choose the chaos or the cameras. As adults divide over coalitions, his future is being turned into a virtual battlefield. Furthermore, as online users continue to take sides, was it Team Blueface or just when it appeared that the drama had reached its peak, a shocking revelation was made, trapping hashtag Team Chrisean's little life in the crossfire and requiring peace, safety, and a shot at normalcy. The documents supposedly received by a purported paralegal on Reddit, which stated that Blueface's mother, Chrisean, had applied for custody of newborn junior, bore Jaden Alexis's signature. Jaden and Chrisean had been at odds in public for years, including during a violent argument on Instagram Live. It turned out to be the same Jaden. All of a sudden, she appeared to be supporting Chrisean. Both are allegedly in favor of the petition for temporary guardianship. According to the documents, Chrisean's emotional instability, frequent exposure to hazardous situations, and unpredictable public behavior led to her being declared unsuitable for the time being. That leak created a sensation on social media. Some early backers abruptly changed their views. Say, "I'm sorry, but I saved Junior," if there are witnesses and supporting documents. Those who sensed strategy speculated that Blueface had been planning the entire play, using Jaden and Chrisean as his chess pieces. Chrisean, however, had to defend herself. The custody petition wasn't the only thing that brought down the internet when a brand new sound clip appeared, and followers worldwide were devastated when a voice message, allegedly from Chrisean's own aunt, appeared.